welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to do a really fun, easy design for you once again. That's my point of my channel. I'm going to be using an Amagic flat brush. It's a number 4. 2 Amagic round brushes. One is a 10, one is a 16. Wistonia fine liner and a clay ball maker. I use those a lot of times for bigger dots, basically. All of the items that I have will be listed down below, just through my affiliate links. I am going to be using FolkArt paints, yellow ochre, Italian sage, fresh foliage, wicker white, violet pansy, and my favorite green, thicket. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to use my fine liner, and I'm just sticking it into the puddle of thicket, stick it into the Italian sage, and just will kind of tap back in to create my, just basically my vine or my stem, or however you want to look at it. It's not really a vine per se, but I'm just going to create different pulls from this and then just come up. They don't all have to be, you know, circular or roundish, whatever you want them to be. Here we go. Here we go. Now I like to just kind of do more lines over them. It's kind of something new that I started doing, and I really like it. I just like just kind of the free look of doing what I'm doing here. Alright, so then I'm going to take my number 16 round brush, and I'm going to dip it into the violet pansy. Alright, and I'm just going to come about and start pushing down and pulling, pushing down and pulling. And of course, now I might pick up some of the color from underneath. That's okay, I'm not worried about it. And it doesn't really matter how many petals that you paint and pull from this. Now you can do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Doesn't really matter. You're looking for a hobby. I really, between drawing and painting are probably my 2 favorites. Well, I should put that aside because I actually have gotten into birding. I like whoops, I did this the wrong way. I'm so used to pulling towards the center that I went the wrong direction, but that's okay. I can still work it in. You can come off the side a little bit. Again, it's just fun little pulls. Just take your time. And if you're looking at what I'm doing, you know, I do this a lot just to, you know, some of my videos aren't long, but I'm going to go ahead and stick my brush into the wicker white, and I'll just go back over my designs. And they don't all have to be fully white or whatnot. And that just kind of broke apart there. Oops, that's not good. That'll happen. That will happen at times. Not a big deal. And just kind of leave it alone for a few minutes and go back over it lightly. doing, you start overlapping, sometimes it's hard to tell. Oops. And we'll just keep going here. That's one thing when you're painting on glass that you just have to know, that sometimes your paint might separate while you're painting, and you just have to be careful going back over it. You can give it some dry time, just light touches over it tend to help. And then I am going to touch back into my purple. There's just really, I like to not have any kind of special loading for the most part. And I just feel like you'll figure it out. You know, when you start painting, it's all about what you feel comfortable with. How I do something may not resonate with you. And just go back and forth to the colors that you want. Or you can just leave it, because I like some of it to be whiter, some of it to be more purple. That's good. Okay, next thing I'm going to do, and I can do this really easily, I'll go in here, putting the clay ball maker into the yellow ochre. And I'm just going to come in here and just gently tap in a center. Now you might pull up the some of the color from underneath. If you do, like I said, you just have to make the decision if you want to do it wet on wet, give it some dry time, hit it with the heat gun. Yeah, it's up to you. But you can do this, and if you don't like where it kind of folded back in, you can just keep working with it. A lot of times, again, if you just give it some time to dry while you're doing this, it'll be just fine. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do, work on my leaves. I'm going to stick the number 10 round brush into the thicket, which once again is my favorite green, and I'm doing leaves. I'm just going to tap and pull. But I'm doing it on the side here, tap and pull towards the center. Very simple. And just do that. Now I know you're probably thinking, wow, it's too hard to see it. It is, but I'm going to go back over it. Not a big deal. And if you pull in, once again, some of the other color, it's not a problem. And you can go in the center if you want. Now, like over here, I do have a little bit of a stem. So I'm just going to tap it in here. If you feel like you need to put some more leaves over into this side, because it seems like I've got all my flowers leaning over this way, that's fine. You can do it. You can come down the side. When I do my bottles, a lot of times I will actually, you know, I paint the whole thing, so it's not an issue. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, just like I've done on the other ones, is tip it into the Italian sage. Come down here, just do quick pulls with it. Does not have to cover up the whole thing. You can just do through part of the leaf. And just go like that. You can come in here if you want. I'm just gonna stay where I already created leaves. Again, I hope you can see this. This bottle's pretty big. Oops, I just stuck it in the wrong paint. So And come out here. And when you add other layers of paint on, just remember that that'll give you some added durability because you are putting your paint on a little bit thicker. You just, you know, have to be careful you don't put it on too thick because it could bubble, but you don't want it to do that either. But it's okay. It's good. It is good. Now, the next thing, and I think I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to wait on that. I'm going to go ahead and just hit it with the heat gun for a minute and I will be right back. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is put my flat brush, my number 4, into the fresh foliage and just have a single color. I am just going to go through and do some basic one stroke. It's very simple. I can do this just over the top of some of these. I got to be careful though because some of it is still wet, so I don't want to do too much because it'll make a mess. But I like it because it actually gives me a little bit of a different, kind of brightens it up a little bit. Gives it a little bit of a different look. And I, once again, with doing the wet on wet, you're going to get it to come over, you know, with the other color underneath a lot of times. And you don't have to do it as heavy as I'm doing it. You can just do it, you know, just a lighter version. But I kind of like to try to hit each area with it just to brighten it up a little bit since it is kind of dark. Go over the flower a little bit. And then the next thing that I'm going to do, I need some more paint on my palette, is come through with my little lines, my little veins or lines to attach it. I'm going to even add some of that in there. And I was just going to wait to attach these other leaves at the same time because I knew I was going to come back over it. And once again, I just like to do some little lines that come out from what I'm working on. Put a little bit darker green in it. Come in here, some of the sage. And I can even do some of the fresh foliage. I need some more on my plate again, but just very loose. Just try to keep it loose. Keep it loose as a goose. I just got to make sure I'm seeing it right. There you go. We're almost finished, guys. I appreciate you sticking with me on this. Alright, and I could just keep going on and on here, which I'm not going to. you get the gist. And again, I could go back over my centers if I wanted to touch them up a little bit, but they're pretty wet still. You can touch it. You can do the centers however you want to. There's a lot of variety with that. Alright, I hope you like this video. If you do, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. New to my channel, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. And prior to leaving, if you would take a moment to share this video, just touch the share button underneath the video and it'll give you the options of where to share it. Alright, until then,